My name is Jack Estes, and I'm the author of the critically acclaimed Vietnam memoir, A Field of Innocence. The story is essentially about my experience as an 18-year-old Marine in Vietnam during the Vietnam War in 1968 and 1969. During that period, over 28,000 Americans were killed. The reason I ended up in Vietnam was I was flunking out of college. My girlfriend was pregnant. I had no money, no job, no skills. And we thought that if I joined the Marine Corps, at least the government would pay for the birth of our child, and it would give me, in essence, a time period to grow up and get a foundation so that I could take care of my family. For the first 6 months of my tour, I was with a large battalion, the 3rd Marines, and most of our time was spent up in the mountains and the jungles, where the only Vietnamese we saw were the ones that we killed. The last 9 months of my tour were spent in a village living with a group of 10 Marines, a Navy corpsman, and 15 to 20 Popular Force soldiers, which were really Vietnamese from the village that we were helping train. And they would carry antiquated weapons from World War II, and one of them even carried a crossbow. We helped them protect their village and protect them during rice runs. In my book, A Field of Innocence, I've also included letters that I wrote home. This letter here is one of my first letters, and I've written a longer letter to my wife, Kristen, and this is to my unborn child. I think it's time I write you and tell you where I am and what I'm doing. Someday when you grow up, I want you to know how important you were to me and how I thought of you so much when I was here. I'm in a war in a little country called Vietnam. I'm here because our country says we're needed. I don't understand it all, and maybe I never will, but our lieutenant says maybe someday our being here will be important. I don't know. I do know it's hot and hard and scary and sad sometimes, and I do know I love and miss you and your mother very much. I'm a young dad, well, almost, and that's kind of scary too, but I'll get to grow up with you, I guess. I knew how hard it is on your mom, and I would give anything to be there when you are born. But when I come home, I'll never leave you again. I love you, my child. Your dad, August 1968. I'm 64 years old, and I still have post-traumatic stress disorder. I have a charitable nonprofit organization called the Fallen Warriors Foundation, which was created out of a trip that my wife and I took to Vietnam in 1993 with our 2 small children. During that trip, I carried supplies such as medical supplies, educational supplies, and toys that were handed out in my village and other areas. The idea was that we would replace the pain that I had associated through muscle memory and emotional trauma as well, and replace it with better memories of passing out toys instead of carrying a machine gun. And this is a re-release of this book, and if you have an interest,
your website?
jackestes.com.
Jack Estes, ESTES.